We're back, people, and today we're going to film on Andrew Van Ginkel, Miami Dolphins edge player. Had the best game of his career in week 2 versus the Patriots. Like, he was in his bag pass rushing. It was definitely the best pass rush game of his entire career. Like, he was pulling stuff out of the repertoire I've never seen him do before. I think that was always his biggest issue. He's always a great athlete, solid run defender, would make plays, but he never had like a pass rush repertoire. He'd always win in the same way if he did get to the quarterback and get sacks. But in this game, he got to the quarterback in so many different ways, was creating pressure, getting in there for Phillips. You can tell he is a Fangio guy. He feels comfortable in this defense. He was playing out of position in week 1 as an off-ball linebacker only, and I think you can do some stuff with him at off-ball linebacker, but he can't be there on like early downs to play the run. Like, he's a set the edge type of player, get him near the line of scrimmage. And now, like, if he can keep this up, like, they have 3 guys coming off the edge, and you can use in certain situations having all 3 of them on the field would be really exciting to watch. And I think that will definitely happen because he'll probably, when Phillips comes back, play some off ball, play some edge, a mix of things. I just don't think it should be all off ball. It should be more edge, if anything, or getting standing down, blitzing through the A gap, things like that. But here, look how he sets up this spin move. Like, he's a freak athlete. Did that a lot coming out of his at the combine. Like, his athleticism was absolutely insane. But he was earlier in the game setting this up, winning to the outside early on. Also show some of those clips later, like how he won to the outside. And here you can see he's just setting this up like he's going to give a little hop step right there. He like gives that little move like he's going to hop because he did that earlier in the game and it beat the outside hand. But then set this up with the spin move to the inside, gets him to overcommit. And then look at the closing burst. Mac Jones has to get rid of the ball really quickly. They end up completing it, but that play by Van Ginkel specifically is such a high-level one. He had so many big time plays. It was really exciting to watch. I've always been a big fan of AVG just as like a rotational player. I'm glad they re-signed him. I was definitely an advocate for that, and nice to see him really break out. And if he can keep using this pass rush repertoire, I think he'll be really special. And here's Van Ginkel's sack in this game. This was like right after the 2 interception. This was such a big turning point to get this. Just winning with pure speed here. As you can see, he was abusing this right tackle. Love how he set this up to look how low he gets, and he shoots out this arm, right? Like, he's going to go for, like, the bull rush long arm type move here, extend, get low. And then once, like, the offensive line is patient with his hands, and once he shoots his hands, he just gets underneath, rips down low, shows off the bend to get to the quarterback. Also, everyone up middle, creating interior pressure. Wilkins getting in there. Chubb doing a good job on the left side, too, to work towards Mac Jones, so he has nowhere to go. They were all over the quarterback. I think if they're creating pressure like this with blitzing, with not blitzing, using twists and stunts, that's what's going to make this defense special because the secondary on the back end is doing a really good job not giving up balls down the field. Like, they're playing pretty conservative back there. So as long as they can, stop the quick pass, the running game, this defense could really be just as important to this team as the offense is. They even kept putting like a tight end to Van Ginkel's side, making him line up super wide, sometimes chipping him. This time he just gets that wide look, and you can just see him get to the quarterback. He's getting to the quarterback so often and so fast. Mac has to really get rid of the ball super fast. But you give him all this space, that athleticism, he's going to win with speed here. And then good hand usage. Boom. Just club that outside hand right there. You're trying to win to the outside. Club it, get underneath, rip it. You just beat hands the whole way. His hand usage, his length. He has a really nice, ideal sort of build to him with his athleticism for this defense. I think Fangio really likes him, but I think the reason the run game and stopping the run was so effective more was because they had Long playing off-ball linebacker and then Van Ginkel playing off the edge, and then he also was just absolutely relentless as a pass rusher. And I just think it's them being in their more natural position, and that's just how it should be. Even with Phillips back, they all need to be playing. But yeah, it's going to be insane because Phillips is still like the elite pass rusher on this team, and he wasn't in this game, and they still were getting to the QB. Honestly, I feel a little bad for 76 here going against Van Ginkel. Another wide 9 place there and just winning to the outside half. That's why that spin move was so effective early on, because this guy was like, I got to get out of my set. They bring a tight end to his side, and he just, speed to the quarterback. He gives the impression like he's going to do a cross chop jump right there, but he doesn't. He just ends up using a long arm, so he's doing a good job selling, and then long arm, good lower half, good leverage, just gets the offensive tackle to the ground. Mac has to get rid of the ball quickly. It's completed again. Mac did a good job in this game getting rid of the ball quickly, but by how AVG was getting to the quarterback so fast, that's going to lead to future sacks if he can keep up that pressure rate at that quick of a pace. Van Ginkel can still be used in some coverage. Like, I don't mind him being like out here in like some passing situations, getting him, out in space. He's very comfortable there. I think when you have him play like as a true off-ball linebacker where he's like in the middle, like where Baker along would be, and he has to read the concepts, it's not something he's super natural or comfortable with at this time. But even in coverage, he looks pretty good. Here he reroutes the number 2 receiver, passes it off to the safety, sees, reads through this, sees Matt get it down to Gesicki right here. He closes on it and helps Baker limit that gain. That's good work. Understanding your keys, getting physical with some receivers to reroute, disrupt the route timing, and then getting downhill to make a tackle and only, getting a 5-yard gain when they were playing in, cover 6 there. So they were expecting the quick pass underneath, but really nice work that AVG shows that versatility to his game. I want to show this play because it's not a rep where he wins necessarily because he kind of slips going past the quarterback. He goes a little bit too wide, but you could see this was like one of the best, this is one of the early pass rush opportunities that he had in this game. So it was just like something that he was sort of setting up 76 with. So like everything you've seen that I've shown up to this point, all of them are going to be after this specific play. And you can see how he set this up to the outside with his hands. He gave this like inside stab. He attacks the outside half of the man, then gives that hard stab to the inside, make it look like he might counter there, and then beat the outside hand with the cross chop, perfectly placed with the club, 2-hand swipe down, and then rip underneath. He just gets a little off balance there and slips and goes too far past the quarterback, but you could see the potential to his pass rush moves because he was using everything in his bag. Showed this play in the defensive film breakdown, just the athleticism on space. I talked about it. He's a very good, player versus screen. Him and Kohu constantly involved in these types of situations. Just recognizing the motion pre-snap, seeing what could happen here. Like, he's already moving away. Like, he knows the ball's going to come here. He's just relating to number 3. He gets down, and for a guy of his size, he moves so well. Like, the range, the instincts, understanding in that area. He's just very comfortable when he can play more down towards the line of scrimmage here. You just don't want him being, like, there constantly unless it's going to be, like, obvious passing situations. Then that's fine, but we've seen what he brought as a pass rusher this game, so I think you want to start bringing him more as a pass rusher in the future. Then the very next play, this is where he started getting his pressures on. He even gets chipped by the tight end. Like, you can see the respect they were showing him. They were, giving help to that right tackle. They were scared of Van Ginkel a lot. Like, and look what they do here. They bring Chubb and Van Ginkel to the same side, which is definitely interesting to see. And they create pressure there with a twist and stunt with Sealer. But Van Ginkel wins so nicely. He gets chipped, feels it off, and then as he gets, in there, he just uses that left hand to beat him to the outside and then gets underneath. Just was abusing this poor right tackle. Even a little out of control here. He's still able to close that fast. Do you see when he's like falling out of control right there and he's still able to like just bend, take this angle to the quarterback without slowing down? It's insane what he was doing. Like, the best I've seen Van Ginkel as a pass rusher, and I've always thought he was a good player, but this was something very different. And I'm so glad that they brought him back because it seems like with Vic Fangio, he can take his game to another level. Most of his reps came on the, versus the right tackle against, coming from that side of the field. But here we got to see him, going versus the left tackle, being that right edge defender. And he, gets pressure instantly. He's not able to finish with the sack here, but they do get holding on the offense. But he still does a good job with his hand placement. He looks much more advanced there, which is nice to see, being comfortable. Attacking to the outside, guy shoots with that left hand. And he gets a good into the chest of Van Ginkel, but he's still able to respond with an outside club, and then use that left hand to get himself clean. And he's in a good spot to bend, get to the quarterback. Great athleticism, still chasing after him, and they end up getting some offensive holding. This was the Christian Wilkins sack where Van Ginkel kind of helps him clean up on it. He was there to help this play out. Just nice to see him adjusting, playing with this pretty smart, because a lot of times, he's winning the outside when he didn't win the inside with, the spin move. He was winning so quick. Here he kind of gets stonewalled, but he sees Mac Jones might step up in the pocket because Christian Wilkins is trying to win to the outside here. So he reacts quickly, doesn't want to float past the quarterback, so staying disciplined to his rush lanes, come off of this, and then help, rally to the ball, which is, nice to see an instinctive play. Last play that I'm going to break down, it's actually the last play of the game. He doesn't, get some pressure here. They're chipping to his side, so he's being patient. Chubb ends up getting some initial pressure. But coming from the other side of the field, once he sees that pitch happening, he gets over there and helps. Him and Holland are the first guy to meet that offensive lineman. If he doesn't get there, that O-lineman definitely picks up that first down. No real chance to pass rush here. Sees, just with the chip opportunity, Gesicki looks like he's going to get tackled. They should have called forward progress, 100%. Do love the hustle by the defensive line to try to get over there. But once it goes over the top, Van Ginkel, boom, gets downhill, helps it. He's, sort of the big guy trying to slow him down. Just nice to see him making some heads-up plays because those types of things are not something you're like, taught about. It's like, oh, he's going to pitch it. That's just something your instincts are on the point and see what you do when that happens against you. So, big fan of what AVG brought. I've always liked his game, but this looks like he could possibly take it to a different level. Could just be maybe a one-off thing. I think, what I saw with the pass rush repertoire, it gives me pretty good hope that it will be, something more expected. Maybe not to this level, every single game. Obviously not. No one will play to that level every single time, but it could be something we see more often, which will be nice. Having some nice pass rushers with Van Ginkel. Chubb made big plays in this game. Phillips has been very, very good when he's been on the field lately. So excited to see them all play together. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and other guys. Peace.